Little Mo Films. You watching the Chitlen Circuit. Y'all know what it is.
Little Mo Films.
What up, world? This your boy, Lil Mo Films, and welcome to the Chitlen Circuit. Hey man, we got another special guest in the building today. I'm talking about all the way down from New Orleans, Louisiana. My dog, Tareen, straight from Uptown, man.
What's up, fam? It's Tareen, author of Out the Bricks, straight out of New Orleans, Louisiana. Came to talk about my upcoming novel and my new novel that's on the market now called Out the Bricks.
That's it, man. That's it, man. And I want to dive into this book, man. But before we go there, I just want the folks to get a little background on you, man. You know, from what I understand, you from Uptown.
Correct.
Uptown. Tell them about Uptown coming up.
Uptown was a wild place. Came up in the 80s, the 90s in the Uptown area. Melpomene, Callio, Magnolia Projects area. Grew up on Martin Luther King Street. Grew up on Thalia Street. Man, seeing some wild stuff in the Melpomene, I was just happy to make it out. Mm-hmm. Now I'm on a mission to tell a message to these youth that they could be anything they want. They don't have to resort to the street. They can start something legal and get it popping. Mm-hmm. Make $1 million just off of their talents, you know?
Mm-hmm. Just off their thoughts and visions.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's what
man.
people doing right now.
Yeah, that's real. I got some of the best examples of doing that. You know what I'm saying? To come up out of New Orleans, you got people like Master P and Birdman and
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like them boys really set a high tone, man. What was that like seeing that coming up?
Sure, after seeing that motivated me. After seeing somebody in my hood, right down the street in Callio, Master P make it out, make millions of dollars, being an entrepreneur, starting this music thing, movies, all type of products. That motivated me. So my job right now is to show it to the youth, like, look at P did it. Not only P, Baby did it. You have actors, you have business people from New Orleans that did it. That really set an example, and we can follow their path, you know.
You know what I'm saying? That's that reached all the way down here to the Chitlen Circuit, to Chattanooga, man. Like,
right.
You know, Master P, I seen them make that Unbounded movie. That shit motivated me.
Exactly.
Did you ever run into them in it? Like, was they? Cause I know we close to Atlanta down here, so like we'll go to Atlanta, man, and we run into people all the time, like just at the mall, like getting something to eat. Do you have any stories of running into any of these people, like maybe Lil Wayne or BG or, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Was it like that? Like talk about that.
Day.
How was that?
BG right from the hood, right from Uptown. So I know him, my people know him. He coming to Magnolia. Coming to Melf, we going to Magnolia, you see what I'm saying? Callio, BG know all Uptown. So I ran across BG a couple of times. Not just in New Orleans, in Atlanta also. Yeah. Working with him. Yeah. With Soldier Slim, see what I'm saying? Ran across Baby from right down the street. And that's work with him, promoting car shows, his records and stuff like that.
That's big, man.
A lot of people in the Cash Money camp.
That's big, man. Cause
them dudes just motivation, you see what I'm saying? You see what they got. You see yourself where you at.
They from where I'm from.
Where I'm from, these dudes in Plains, staying in Miami, got houses in Cali. Yeah. All that's motivation, man.
Yeah. It's so much culture in New Orleans, man. I would advise everybody to put that on your bucket list, go to New Orleans. I actually got to go down there and I kicked it with some of BG folks, man. My boy Guy and my boy Skyview. I was in Skyview, man.
Okay, yeah.
I was in Skyview with Young View, kicking it with Young View. You know what I'm saying? And I got to go to see Violence in Magnolia.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? My boy Ziggler Wiggler, I got to meet him. You know what I'm saying? I was all through that thing, man. And just to see the culture that y'all have, man, all the way to the caskets being like on top. I ain't never seen no shit like that, man. Like, cause our shit down here, everybody buried up under the ground. Right. Like y'all got the tombstones on top. Like, just speak on that. How did culture influence you, being from New Orleans?
The culture influenced me a lot, man. It's one of the most oldest cities in the United States. So when you speak of New Orleans, you're talking about the birthplace of jazz. You're talking about one of the places where the slaves was dropped off. You're talking about one of the oldest states, Louisiana, when it comes to the United States. Because remember, Louisiana purchased.
Yeah.
So when you say culture in New Orleans, you're talking about a mixture of everything. You got people from Cuba, you got people from Africa, Germany, Italy, Spain, France.
I kept seeing people, I thought they were white people, but then I was being like,
you never know.
It took me a minute. I was like, nah, they ain't white, bro. Like,
right?
You feel me? Like, it fucked me up.
Nationalities, so many ethnicities that came to New Orleans like way back in the 1800s.
That's what it was.
Now, when you fast forward it, all of that culture came together. You get what you have now, the city of New Orleans. You know, so that's why people make it the top destination. The place to go to.
Yeah, I'm glad I got to see that shit, man. That shit,
but
the food was good.
Right, there's a lot more to it. You got the food, you got the music, you have the outdoors.
Yeah.
You like hunting and fishing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You got that too.
They had some shit called yakimine.
You got the yakin meat.
I ate that shit, man. It's some red store I went to. It was like a little booth, nigga. You got the, you know what I'm saying? That shit was the best shit ever, nigga. That shit yakimine.
I talk about that in Out the Bricks, how we used to eat that yakin meat every Friday, man. Your grandma made it. You know somebody that made it. Your auntie made it.
Nigga, them the best noodles ever,
That's a good dish.
Yeah, I ate that shit, man. I got the experience. I for real got to experience the culture.
With some of that hot sauce?
That's what I'm telling you, nigga. That's it. You got to try that shit, man. You got to try it.
And
you know what I'm
saying?
saying?
The yakin meat of food.
So just coming to age, man, you know what I'm saying, in New Orleans, probably in some of your younger days, you know what I mean? I seen you had a chapter in there called Raised by Wolves. You know what I mean? What's that stuck out to me. You know what I mean? Like and seeing what I saw in New Orleans, man, it was a different level, bro. It's the closest thing, and I've been to Haiti. I've seen, it's the closest thing, and Haiti is like the worst place in the world. It's like the poorest and the most violent place in the world, they say. And I swear to God, that's what I was seeing in New Orleans.
Resemblance, huh?
Yeah, man. So that chapter, when I seen that Raised by Wolves, that stood out to me. Can you go into that a little bit, coming of age and Raised by Wolves?
Yeah, that chapter pretty much talk about in the 80s and the 90s how you had the OGs, right? They would tell you what not to do in the streets because they was doing it. Whether it was kilos, whether it was small drugs, whether it was guns, whatever it was, street life, they was really living that. So they told us not to do it. You know, they'll tell us go inside when they're about to do like a crime or something, or just whatever it was they were about to do in the street, they would like leave us out of that. But you knew they was doing their thing in the street.
Yeah.
So we used to call them wolves. That's why I say raised by wolves, because of the tactics they was doing back then and how they approached life and how they approached the game. You know, the game was different in the 80s.
Yeah, it changed. Yeah.
Drugs had just hit the United States.
Yeah.
So you had in New Orleans, Miami, Los Angeles, all these major cities, right?
We going down.
Right. So dudes had to get their hustle on.
Yeah, turf wars.
All type of stuff going on. So it was just like everybody was out for themselves. Yeah. You had cliques, but at the same time, you had to be a wolf in order to survive, you know?
Yeah. But I heard my boy Guy said they got something that they call down there. He said it's the old law and it's the new law. He said he always said I go by that old law.
That's what I'm talking about with the wolves. The OGs back in the 80s and the 90s, they went under the old law. So they played the game totally different. Nowadays, they got something new going on. I don't know what they got going on. It's totally different now. You know, that ain't my position to speak on it. Yeah. It's a whole different generation. Yeah. But I know in the 80s and the 90s, they was under that old law. Yeah. Straight OGs.
And I also heard Birdman Brothers just got out of jail, Gangsta Williams. Gangsta Williams was talking about the old law shit. He was what you was just saying, he was like, man, we ain't do nothing to nobody who wasn't in the game. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Totally different set of laws.
Yeah. So you ever hear any stories I meet Gangsta Williams?
Oh yeah, I ran across him like Uptown, just seeing him in his car.
So you seen him? What car was he in? Because he always talking about
Benzes or one of them fancy cars.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Nah, he was out there for real.
Yeah. What was that like watching him do his thing?
I mean, I wasn't seeing him every day because he was in the Magnolia. I was in the Mel for me. But you know, I used to be hearing stories, just seeing him, you know, riding around Uptown. Yeah. Man, he was involved, you know. So he was one of them dudes that was really out there. Yeah. And there wasn't no cap what he was doing, you know. Yeah. Yeah, people know him. So yeah, he was official.
There's been a lot of controversy around, you know what I'm saying, like they were saying he snitched and all that. I ain't really trying to go into all that, but I'm getting to a topic the way I want to go about it. And then you got a guy by the name of Charleston White. you know what I'm saying, who been bringing up a lot of noise about snitching and stuff, and is it really snitching if you really trying to help the community, you trying to stop people killing each other, you trying to, you know what I'm saying, what's your, you know what I'm saying, you out the bricks, and you know, like you say, that old law we come up under, you know what I'm saying, like, do you feel like it's changing, cause, you know, people viewing snitching different, and what's the real definition of snitching?
I mean, it didn't change, bro. You gotta look at it, we in, what, 2022 now? Versus 1980, 1970, how far you wanna go back. So there's two different generations. First generation got their philosophy they went by. Now, this generation got they thing they going by. So I can't really like speak on it and say, oh, this generation, this what they doing. I can speak on with the old generation, what I was raised under. You see what I'm saying? So to answer your question, I know it was the most solid back in the 80s and the 90s. You feel me? Going into 2000, dudes was more solid. You knew what the play was back then. Nowadays, you never know.
You don't even know.
So, you know, that's my take on that.
Damn, that's crazy, man. So I know it's some people who probably influenced you in your life or whatever. I know I seen another chapter in your book. It was called Angels in Disguise. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you just dive into what you meant by that, and you know what I'm saying?
Like the important people, Angels in Disguise is a chapter in which I wrote in the books, Out the Bricks, is people that really played a part. Out the Bricks. Y'all go cop that thing. We helping the youth with this also. So Angels in Disguise is a chapter that I felt I needed to write just to give thanks to the people that really paid the pat and encouraged me to get out the project. Like people like Blair Boutique, who is now an attorney and runs his own firm and bail bonding business in New Orleans. One of my friends, Jeff Williams, who's now an engineer, he grew up in the project. When he went to Southern University, he's an engineer. He always encouraged me, like, go to college, you know, the street life handles up, you know? Even though we stay in it, we don't gotta remain in it. So he went to Southern, got his engineering degree. Now this dude smashing the real estate game in New Orleans.
Man, that's crazy.
So him and excuse me, a couple of my teachers from private school who encouraged me to like stay into the books and always give back to your community. So those are the people that really played an effect. And also my mother, that had an effect on me, my big brother. All of them kind of like led me straight.
So that's what they can expect in that chapter.
Veer off into the street, you know? Because you gotta look at it, there was a lot of peer pressure back then. All your friends hustling, all your friends doing this, doing that. Wasn't too many
people lost
doing
their life,
stuff in the project, you know? So you had to have that guidance. You didn't have that guidance,
it's over for you.
You was stuck out, you know?
Sharp.
So those people were my angels in disguise.
I feel you.
Kept me on that straight path, you know?
That's it, man. That's it, man.
Yeah.
And you said something important that I don't want to go people here. You said private school. You feel what I'm saying? Me personally, I know the importance of education and how different a public school versus a private school can really help a child.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people might don't realize that. You know what I mean? But just explain your experience and how does a person coming from Uptown end up getting into a private school?
Man, it was like a blessing. Because the school system in New Orleans, you have a lot of public schools, right? During the 80s and the 90s, the school system, man, it was like one of the last in the United States. Like 49th or 50th, almost behind Mississippi, right? So the majority of 90% of the people was going to public schools. They ain't have no AC. The food wasn't adequate. The teaching was off. You see what I'm saying?
Damn.
So that was results into a lot of dropouts. People's dropping out. You see dudes dropping out all day, 6th grade, 5th grade. My uncles, a lot of my friends dropped out 5th grade. None of them had to go to high school. I had the opportunity to go to a private school. My mother hustled up the money, paid the monthly tuition. You see what I'm saying? Sent me to private school.
She made a sacrifice for you.
Right, made a sacrifice, worked 2 jobs, went to private school. That changed my life totally. Because I've seen the education in private school totally different from the one in public school. We had homework every day. We was taught morals and values. We couldn't use profanity and all of that balanced out, man. It helped me as a person. You see what I'm saying? Respect your elders, respect your friends. It created a brotherhood amongst the males in the private school as well.
Yeah.
So that minimizes the conflict with us. You know, even though they came with their religious, like, you know, we had to go to church and all, so, but it was more centered around like African traditions. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what separated our private school. And of course, we had some great teachers that taught math, science, arts, writing, English. We had to do poems. We had to do book reports. Nowadays, they don't do a lot of that stuff. And back then, the public schools wasn't doing it. Every week, we had a book report to enhance our reading skills. You know what I'm saying?
And your thinking.
Your thinking and comprehension. Because you can read something that don't mean you're going to comprehend it. So by attending private school, man, it just helped me tremendously, you know?
Yeah, because I know I always hear you say, think before you act. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's what I preach to these youth.
That's what I've been hearing you preach on that. And that's what I wanted to get into, man. Like, really, a lot of people haven't, especially coming from areas that we come from, haven't got to see other countries in the way they live. And I really feel like that's big in the growth of especially a young black male. You know what I'm saying? So one thing I noticed before I get to where some of the places you done been, I wanted to touch on this topic before we got there.
Okay.
Some of the things that I noticed is family when I go to other countries. Like in America, we are raised like, when you get 18, get out my house. You know what I mean?
And that's messed up.
You know, and what I noticed in other countries is they will build, let's just per se, a hut beside their mom and daddy hut. And their kids will build a hut beside their mom and daddy hut. And they will be together still strong as a family. And the bigger their family is, the stronger they are. You feel me? And it's kind of like, I don't know how it is down there, but like we got a lot of Spanish people, Hispanic people around here. And we as black people joke about where you see them like 8 deep in the car, or you see them living 20 in the house, but really they a unit and they putting their resources together. You see what I'm saying? So just speak on the family aspect of things.
Man, that's really important. I touched upon that in Out the Bricks also in one of my chapters called The Importance of Family. And what I've seen just by traveling to Europe, staying in Spain for 5 years, is that they emphasize that. First off, they eat twice. I'm sorry. They eat at 2 o'clock every day. The family, old school style, the table. Let's talk about our problems, you know, like how you feeling. Let's talk about what you got going on at work so we can resolve our problems. You know, if we got an issue with somebody, we're going to iron it out here. And we're going to bring that family bond back together.
Amongst family.
So that's one of the things I noticed. They still do the big family gatherings.
Damn, that's big right there, though.
That's major. And that's something that's not really practiced in the U.S. When the last time we got together, like as a family, like your family, my family, just eat at the table, besides a funeral.
With Big Mama, that was the last decade.
Right.
Big Mama.
Big Mama.
I mean, you know what's the name of that movie?
Right.
You remember that movie?
I know, Big Mama.
The family.
Your Big Mama, I had a Big Mama, my grandmother Mina. I talk about her in the book.
But it was a movie. It was a movie, though. You know what I'm talking about? It was a movie.
Big Mama.
No, it was
soul food. Yeah, like soul food.
They used to sit down at the table.
Sit down at the table.
But yeah, what was you saying on my bad?
I speak about that in the book, Out the Bricks book, about your grandmother and how our grandmothers played a key part in our life, in society in general. Your grandmother, my grandmother, her grandmother, Big and Mo grandmother.
But the grandmama's twerking now, man.
Now look, let me bring you back.
Come on.
All of our grandmothers, right? Sit on the porch. Big and Mo do something in the hood. My grandma gonna get on Big and Mo.
Yep.
Your grandmother, I do something.
She on you.
She on me.
That's it.
That's the missing element we need now today. You see what I'm saying?
That's what's
missing in society today.
That's what I was getting at.
The grandma really lay it down.
Yeah.
Right now, the grandmas today doing all other type of stuff instead of disciplining these children. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At least tell them something. Because if we don't got that structure of a strong woman, man, we assed out as a society. You know, that's where it starts at.
Yeah.
Then you need the man to come together with it. But we need like that solid backbone, strong woman to get everybody together. So that's something that's missing when it comes to the importance of family.
Nah, that's real right there.
That's what I'm always preaching, you know.
That's real right there, man.
Trying to spit that to the, you know, to the generation now and what's to come. Because think about it, you don't have no grandma or no strong auntie now. Okay, so the 21-year-olds, what they gonna do in 10, 15 more years? You see what I'm saying? Who they gonna look up to?
Twerking at them red lights.
Right, so that's something important right there. Now to go back to your question about family in other countries, what I seen in Europe, staying in Spain, they really emphasize on land. Getting their sons and daughters property and land.
Okay.
Purchasing.
Okay.
In the United States, we worry about a car or some material stuff. Over there, you turn 18, you about to get you
some property.
half an acre.
Something
Football
to do something
field. Right. So you need to build you a house, grow you some agriculture. There it is. You get a car any day.
And they do wine over there too.
You can grow anything on there. You can grow all type of fruits, vegetables, wine, the whole nine. But we're gonna get you this land first. So that way you'll never be homeless. You always have somewhere to stay.
Make it a tent right here or something.
Right, make it a tent, set it up.
We're gonna figure
so that's
it out.
important over there. And just the morals and values, man. First off, they don't have no guns over there.
Yeah. Speak on that. That's what I was hearing, man.
You don't really like in Coruña, Spain, Barcelona, Madrid, a lot of those small towns in Spain, you don't have no guns. So therefore, you watching the news, you're not seeing no murders. You're not seeing no carjackings. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, if there's crime, it's probably small crime.
Probably
got drunk, drove off the road or whatever, but there's no major crime like you see here in the States.
Probably coming from there and going back home probably messed you up. You probably was like, got used to it.
It's almost like a culture shock, you know? When I'm in Spain at home watching the news, I don't see nothing but like positive stuff. I click on the news here, I see a school shooting or a carjacking. You see what I'm saying? In our major cities in which that could be, a lot of that stuff could be avoided. If we go back to what we talked about earlier, importance of family. You know, stressing that importance of, you know, like morals and values. We go back to that, that's a start. I'm not saying that we're going to end it overnight, but that's a start right there.
Nah, that's real, man. That's real. So, a lot of people probably thinking right now, Spain, man. How you end up in Spain, man? Tell them, break that down to them. You know what I'm saying? How did you end up even being in Spain for 5 years?
So actually, my girl from over there. So, you know, after we kicked it over here in New Orleans, she went back and invited me back. You know, I took the first trip, checked it out, blew my mind.
Yeah.
Second trip, considered it. Third trip, made the decision.
I know. Yeah.
I'm gonna stay. And after that, man,
Yeah.
I just got comfortable with the quality of life.
Yeah.
From the food. Yes,
Yeah.
of course. You have to learn to speak that. Even though English is there, but you have to learn to speak Spanish.
Let's see how good his Spanish is.
How's your accent over there? Do they act like you have an American accent? Do they have a hard time?
No, they like it because I have a New Orleans accent
Right,
for the
New
most
Orleans
part.
seems
So
like
they
it
was
blends
they was like, wait,
Yeah.
this is different
Yeah.
from the typical English that we normally hear. So they asked me to talk a lot of New Orleans stuff,
Man.
like baby, say baby, hey, what's up, baby? You know, what's up, wine, all
Yeah,
that
they
type
love
of stuff.
that. Yeah, they love
So
that shit. Yeah.
I spoke a lot of that over there, but for the most part, it's a cool country, man. I got over there and got adjusted. I work remotely, so it works for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sold a lot of books there. Did a book signing.
Yeah. Yeah. You've been hustling
cool.
this book.
Yeah,
Hey,
man.
I'm getting one too for you before you go, man.
Definitely.
You know I gotta support, man, for real, man.
Definitely. But overall, I tell people, if you get the chance to go to Europe, do it. Because you're on the outside looking in. You see the world from a different perspective.
Yeah, I seen that Queen shit, man. That shit, hey, them boys on point. I said,
man.
nah, them the real white
Listen,
people.
hey,
Look,
man,
I said, look.
it's a lot of money in Europe. It's a lot of
Yeah.
opportunity too.
Yeah.
You know, I see dudes going
dudes
over there
with the
starting
hats.
restaurants,
Yeah,
opening up nightclubs, all type of stuff.
Yeah,
So you go over there and just peep out the scene, find your lane.
yeah,
You'll wind up staying over there.
yeah, for real, man.
So it's a blessing, man, that I get the opportunity to stay in both countries.
That's crazy right there. That's a blessing, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So what you want to lead the people with, man? What you want to let everybody know? Where can they find your book at? Where they can find you at? Where they can tap in with you at?
All right, definitely. Out the Bricks book, you can find it at www.outthebricks.com. The website is right here on the back, outthebricks.com. Thanks for all the support, whomever purchased the book. And let's help these youth, man. Let's give them a good message. You see what I'm saying? Support the book, support programs, support trade, support entrepreneurship, support independent artists, support musicians. We bringing everybody on board for this message and for this movement. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. So outthebricks.com. My name Tareen. Shout out to Lil Mo, Chattanooga holding it down. Shout out to Biggie Mo. Y'all be on the lookout for him. Shout out to the whole city of Chattown for showing love to Out the Bricks. Shout out to Atlanta, Georgia. Shout out to New Orleans, Louisiana. And shout out to everybody that's doing something positive, man. You know, the numbers, unity is in the numbers. That's where it comes from right there. We get together, make this work, man, we could be millionaires all together. That's what it's about. Y'all can find me on Facebook, Tareen. Y'all can find me on Instagram, Tareen504. And y'all go support that movement, man. Out the Bricks. We also have our movement called Stop and Think, where we're telling the youth to stop and think before they make their decisions. Before you go rob a store, before you go do anything crazy, stop and think, because it might cause you your life, or a life in jail, or a life, or an early trip to the cemetery. So stop and think. We promote entrepreneurship, real estate, being a lawyer, being a doctor, finding a trade, being a teacher, anything that's positive to keep these youths off the street. And once again, outthebricks.com. We out.
Hey, man, like I say, only in the Chitlen Circuit. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you can sell books, anything in the Chitlen Circuit, man. You feel me? We got our own market. We can turn each other into millionaires. We got the power. All we got to do is link up. But before you get ready to go, man, I always got to ask. I ask these questions. I always ask my guests this last question, man, because I believe in speaking things into existence, and I feel like the tongue is powerful.
Right.
What do Kareem want to speak into his life into the next 5 years?
What I was speaking to my life is first health, because you can't do nothing without your health. Prosperity, financial wealth, spiritual cleanliness to keep my mind right, and just keeping these youth on track, man, making their future better with the things I have going on and the people I'm dealing with, my partners, everybody getting on board and helping these youth out. So within the next 5 years, that's what I would speak into my life, speak into existence.
That's what's up, man. Hey, man, but you just heard it here live, man. Hey, y'all make sure y'all go get this. Look, I'm putting the link right here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all make sure y'all go to the link, copy and paste it, and go support my man. Or you can hit him up directly on one of the platforms that he named. You know what I'm saying? And he'll get it to you personally. You feel me? Out the Bricks, man.
Out the Bricks. Shout out to Lil Mo, man. Chattown.
The Chitlen Circuit, baby.
Chitlen Circuit, baby. Chattown holding it down. Lil Mo. And we out, baby. Out the Bricks. Y'all go cop that.
Boom.
Lil Mo Films. You watching the Chitlen Circuit. Y'all know what it is.
Lil Mo Films.